His job in there, he did what he had to do.
Yeah, I have. Canelo a big dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I believe in my abilities. He's a heavy dude, but he's not a big guy. Like, he's 5'8", I'm 5'8", you know what I mean? My arm's longer than his, you know? That fight it'd be good. You won't get hit in the fight. You know, that's one thing we all know. And I believe in my abilities, and I believe in myself that I can handle anything that any fighter.
It's still 6 months until their super fight, but Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have already started turning up the heat ahead of their September showdown. The two met with Turki Alalshikh earlier today, but instead of calming tensions, the meeting took an unexpected turn.
Canelo in Riyadh and made the big fight.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford nearly came to blows, with tensions escalating to the point where a brawl almost broke out, one that Turki Alalshikh wouldn't have been able to stop. Their meeting in Saudi Arabia was meant to finalize details for their mega matchup, but things got heated even before they arrived at Turki's residence, as the two ran into each other at the airport.
His Excellency didn't seem as into this in the past, and now last night seems very on board making this happen. What changed on his end?
I don't know. You have to ask him. You know, I think it's a very intriguing fight. You know, Canelo and me is the same height. I got longer reach than Canelo. I'm faster than Canelo. But Canelo is bigger than me. He's stronger than me. So we both giving away something, but we both gaining something at the same time.
Both fighters' teams had expected them to show mutual respect, especially since there was never any real bad blood between them. Throughout their call-outs and anticipation of a clash, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford had always maintained a level of sportsmanship. However, things took a turn when Crawford gas approached. Canelo asked at the airport to exchange pleasantries only for Canelo to seemingly brush him off.
So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not?
Brings at me or throw at me. You know, I gotta be able to believe in myself if I'm gonna get in the ring with you. I can't go in the ring thinking, oh man, if this guy hit me, he's gonna knock me out, or if this guy hit me, he's gonna break my ribs. So now, you know, if he was talking about Deontay Wilder or something like that.
This led to Crawford making more efforts to approach Canelo after nearly being physically attacked. As tensions escalated, Terence became furious, and both fighters started exchanging heated words, ready to take things to the next level. However, neither was alone. Members of their respective teams quickly intervened to separate them. Authorities at the airport also stepped in, preventing what could have been a full-blown altercation before their scheduled fight in September. After the incident, they made their way separately to Turki Alalshikh's residence. It is believed that the Saudi boxing mogul played a role in de-escalating the situation between the two. A photo later surfaced on Turki Alalshikh's social media page, showing him alongside Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, seemingly confirming their meeting.
History of boxing in September, then 2 more fights in 26. Don't miss with the line.
The boxing world was in need of a historic fight to shake things up this year, and with the help of Turki Alalshikh, that fight was delivered at the perfect moment. Canelo Alvarez and former undisputed champion Terence Crawford, hailing from Omaha, Nebraska, have had multiple meetings with the Saudi boxing mogul. However, beyond these discussions, the rivalry has now intensified with a fiery exchange between the two fighters. adding even more anticipation to their upcoming showdown.
Alvarez.
Oh, well, it ain't really no message, you know. It's all respect over here, you know, and if, you know, he do decide to come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know. It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody.
For a fight that's being hailed as the match of the year, fans crave chaos and intensity, and Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are delivering exactly that. Both fighters know how to fuel the hype, and their heated exchanges have only added to the anticipation. At the forefront of negotiations is Riyadh season's key figure, Turki Alalshikh, who has been working tirelessly to finalize what could be one of the biggest fights in boxing history. Canelo was initially hesitant to take on the 37-year-old from Omaha, but it seems the Mexican icon has had a change of heart and is now preparing for the challenge. Reports suggest that Turki Alalshikh may have worked behind the scenes, offering Canelo a massive purse to secure his agreement for this blockbuster fight. Despite having a scheduled bout in May against William Skull during the Cinco de Mayo weekend, it's his showdown with Terence Crawford that is dominating the headlines and capturing the attention of boxing fans worldwide.
Para este imbécil intento de gente que tengo aquí a mi izquierda, que no se le olvide que yo ya vine siendo el Canelo a Estados Unidos y que solamente lucró con mi nombre. Nunca perdí un solo centavo, sino nomás ganó dinero. ¿Ya le pagaste a Golovkin lo que le quería robar? ¿Sí? Muy.
Speaking about the fight in an interview with a well-known boxing platform, the 34-year-old Canelo Alvarez admitted he was open to facing Terence "Bud" Crawford, but downplayed the credit he would receive for it. At the end of the day, I won't get any credit if I face Crawford, but you never know. You never know in boxing. I move up and down in weight and fight everyone out there, so it's possible. Why not? It's possible. He continued. I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter. I've always said that, no disrespect to him. But sometimes it's crazy how people talk about a smaller fighter like Charlo, who is actually big. And then the same people ask if I'm going to fight Crawford, a 147-pound fighter who is even smaller than Charlo. It makes no sense, but you guys keep saying it. This echoed comments he made in a previous interview where he stated, "I'm in, why not? Don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter, but in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me. Easy money. If the money is right, I'm in, too. Be honest, I don't like fighting guys like Crawford because he moves a lot, and those fights aren't always exciting. But in his last fight, I noticed he wasn't moving as much, so yeah, if the money is right, I'm in."
But hopefully once you guys get in there.
I don't know. I just think, you know, his punching power and his physical size is the only thing that I really...
For Terence Crawford, the feeling has been entirely different, as he has been actively pursuing a fight against Canelo Alvarez ever since his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds, a victory that crowned him the undisputed welterweight champion. I've been wanting this fight. It's a legacy fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like this fight is the last of the Mohicans. It would be massive. You've got two guys who are top 3 pound for pound going head-to-head, Crawford said. Acknowledging the size difference, he added, "I know Canelo is bigger than me, but I'm up for the challenge. It's all respect. If he decides to come my way and we step into the ring, then trust me, it's going to be an electrifying fight."
The only thing that I really have to worry about. But who knows? Once we get in the ring, we don't know how I'll handle his punching power, his size. I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life, so I'm pretty familiar with that aspect of the game.
As he prepares for the fight 6 months from now, the former undisputed champion from Omaha, Nebraska, acknowledges the challenges ahead. Terence Crawford knows he'll have to be mindful of Canelo's size and power, but he remains confident in his readiness and the arsenal of skills he plans to bring on fight night. Interestingly, Crawford isn't just accustomed to facing bigger opponents, he's also used to beating them. With an undefeated record of 41-0, he has consistently proven his ability to overcome size disadvantages. "I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life," Crawford stated. And when it comes to his chances against Canelo, he made his stance clear. "Of course, I'll beat him. There is no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't beat anyone I step in the ring with."
No comment. Your reaction to that, and that seems like that you do want this fight now.
Well, I've been wanting to fight, you know. I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if, you know, this is the biggest fight in boxing today.
What makes a potential Canelo versus Crawford fight particularly compelling is the stage each fighter is at in their Hall of Fame-worthy careers. Both men are likely nearing the final chapters of their legendary runs. The 34-year-old Canelo Alvarez has been fighting professionally for nearly 2 decades, amassing an astonishing record of 62-2. Some of those fights, especially his 2 controversial battles with Gennady Golovkin, have undoubtedly taken a toll on his body. As for Terence Crawford, at 37 years old, time isn't exactly on his side either. With 41 fights under his belt, he remains undefeated, a testament to his dominance in the ring. Seen from a certain perspective, a Canelo versus Crawford showdown makes perfect sense. At this point in their careers, one has to wonder what mountains are left for either man to climb.
This fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. You know, we both come in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So,
Both of these fighters understand what it means to be an undisputed champion, an achievement that has become increasingly rare in modern boxing. They also know what it's like to perform under the brightest lights. Canelo Alvarez has been in multiple high-stakes super fights, including showdowns with Gennady Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford had his long-awaited moment on the biggest stage when he dominated and stopped fellow welterweight titleist Errol Spence in 9 rounds of a one-sided battle. For this fight to happen, Crawford, who last competed at super welterweight, would need to jump 2 full weight divisions to challenge the reigning super middleweight king, Canelo. If it comes to fruition, this bout would be one of the biggest in recent memory.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that no disrespect him. But you know, sometimes he's
Alvarez lost his undisputed status at 168 lbs when the International Boxing Federation, IBF, stripped him of his title, with unheralded Cuban fighter William Skull later claiming the vacant belt. However, before facing Terence Crawford in September, Canelo has made a promise to Turki Alalshikh during his press conference with Skull that he will reclaim the IBF title. The objective is clear. Turki Alalshikh wants Canelo Alvarez's showdown, with Terence Crawford to be for the undisputed super middleweight championship. To make that happen, Canelo must first take the belt back from William Skull.
About a small fighter like Charlo, he's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo.
Ahead of the fight, Terence "Bud" Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he will face against Canelo, recognizing that size will be a key factor. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome the challenge and impose his boxing style. Many boxing analysts have expressed skepticism about Crawford's ability to compete effectively at super middleweight. This doubt partly stems from his most recent fight, a points victory over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, which lacked the dominant performance many had anticipated.
Yeah, I've seen that. Everybody that believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Will was going to be Spence. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
Regardless of these concerns, the potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans. The combination of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Canelo has maintained a tradition of fighting twice a year, once in May and again in September, the latter coinciding with Mexico's Independence Day celebrations. Since 2022, he has stuck to this schedule, and 2025 will be no different. Crawford, on the other hand, has opted to sit out until September, saving himself exclusively for the Canelo fight. Many consider this a risky move, pointing to what happened to Errol Spence when he faced Crawford. While Crawford had a tune-up fight before their bout, Spence had been inactive for a year, and on fight night, he was the one who took a brutal beating.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to work things out and see where they go from there.
I know it's Tuesday before the run out there as an opponent. What do you want Crawford to do?
Butterstop him.
Yeah?
Butterstop him.
Think that they can get a shot at Bud after, with the belt not even being on the line? Is that a fight that...
Although this fight seems more like a media spectacle than a truly competitive matchup, given that Crawford competes at 154 lbs, 2 divisions below the Guadalajara native, both Crawford and Turki Alalshikh successfully convinced Canelo to take the fight. Alvarez was reportedly seeking a $150 million purse to agree to the bout. Despite the skepticism surrounding the fight from a sporting perspective, Canelo isn't taking Crawford lightly. Crawford's rare boxing skills have kept him undefeated through 41 fights, making him a dangerous opponent, regardless of size. Trainer Robert Garcia weighed in on the matchup, acknowledging that Canelo holds a physical advantage, but also highlighting Crawford's exceptional skill set and unique approach inside the ring.
Because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never, maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined. So of course, why would he call up Benavidez when he's calling out Canelo? No.
Crawford is a smart man. He's already achieved everything he wanted, Robert Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He's done a lot. He doesn't need to challenge himself or prove anything to anyone. Garcia, who has spoken with Crawford personally, believes the Omaha native is primarily focused on securing the big fight with Canelo. My feeling is that he wants that fight, and if he doesn't get it, he might never fight again. However, if Crawford decides to remain at junior middleweight, there are several intriguing options available. The most appealing challenge would be against WBC and WBO champion Sebastian Fundora. He could also target IBF champion Bakram Murtazaliev. Other potential opponents include Jermell Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Serhiy Bohachuk, and rising star Xander Zayas.
He's not gonna pitch out.
You don't think he could go all 12?
He won't pitch out. He'll put up some good rounds, get knocked out, but he'll put up some good rounds, and that's better than what Charlo did.
Because he'll fight.
Yeah, exactly, he'll fight. No, he'll...
However, according to Robert Garcia, Crawford no longer needs to seek out another fight. Given his outstanding career and undefeated record, Garcia believes he has nothing left to prove. He's already achieved it. I don't see him fighting just to please the fans who say he needs to fight this guy or that guy, Garcia explained. If it were purely about money, Garcia believes Crawford wouldn't need to step into the ring again. The former undisputed champion has managed his wealth wisely and made smart investments to secure his future. His only reason to return would be to face Canelo and finish his career on a high note, Garcia added. He's going to go out there and look for the big fight and enjoy his life. He's a very smart man. He's invested his money well. He doesn't need to fight again. But he still wants that big fight with Canelo. If he gets it, he'll take it. If not, he might never fight again.
I'm not even, he can hit. Like I know he can hit.
And he has a great chin. Has he ever been dropped ever?
He was hurt. Both his brothers.
Yeah, but that was 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, but he got hurt. So what? He did get hurt.
Hey, you bring up Crawford getting hurt by Gamboa. That was 1,000 years
When
ago.
did I ever say that?
You said that the other day.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, you did. What's it called?
If the fight happens against the Guadalajara boxer, Robert Garcia believes Crawford can hold his own against Canelo for several rounds may be not enough to win, but enough to earn respect from both Canelo and the fans. Look, I think Crawford could give good rounds. The first 6 to 8 rounds would be very competitive, Garcia said. Crawford has skills. He's very strong. He has great speed and enough power to earn Canelo's respect. However, Garcia ultimately sees size as the deciding factor. Eventually, I think Canelo is just too big, too strong. But for those first 6 rounds, it would be a very entertaining fight, he concluded.
You see, Roger says that Canelo hits just a slight less heavy-handed than Caballo.
Wow.
You think Caballo's stronger?
I think Caballo's heavier-handed. I think Canelo's stronger, but I think Caballo, there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between powers.
Right.
Caballo is heavier-handed. Like when he'll jab into the body.
Okay, to be fair, Caballo weighed 220 pounds when he sparred him. Well, he did it?
Another boxing professional who disagrees with Robert Garcia's assessment is Mikey Garcia. In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Mikey revealed that he crossed paths with Crawford at last December's WBC convention in Hamburg, Germany. During their meeting, he praised Crawford for his accomplishments. Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen, Garcia said.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just...
Dude, you're a bad guy. You don't always get the recognition because of boxing politics, but you truly have the skills. You're a great fighter, and you've proven it multiple times, Mikey Garcia told Crawford. Despite his praise, Mikey questions how Crawford, who started at lightweight, would handle Canelo at 168 lbs. Where do you plan on going? 164, 165, 166? He asked, noting that Canelo has beaten top names like Golovkin, Plant, Saunders, and Charlo, making him the most experienced in the division.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter. But the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford...
Canelo ain't coming down to 160, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins based on size and power alone, Mikey Garcia said. Skill-wise, Crawford is better, but the size difference will decide the fight. That's why I'm not even a fan of it. Crawford, 37, has accomplished everything across 4 divisions from 135 to 154 lbs and understands the financial appeal of a Canelo fight. However, Garcia believes both fighters should consider different paths rather than facing each other.
Or he can attempt that, but there's no money in that compared to a Canelo fight, and Canelo is trying to fight other guys.
As a fight fan, I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight someone like David Benavidez or Dimitri Bivol again, Garcia said. If he wants a real challenge, he should go to 175 and test himself there, not fight a smaller guy moving up. Same for Crawford, he doesn't need Canelo. He can fight top contenders at 154 instead. That's all for now. For the best updates on boxing news, events, and action, subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Until next time, peace out.